So in my last video, I mentioned a book that is typically on my altar space, and that I would make a video about books that I keep in that space. So this is that video. I guess I'll just tell you about them. So I have the Tarot de Saint Croix by Lisa de Saint Croix guidebook. I have 2 of these. I lost one. And then she sent me one. And then sometime later I found the other one. So I have this one. It stays there. And it's, you know, like when I'm feeling like I need that perspective, like a different perspective on something I'm reading or something like that, I just like, I can't make meaning, my brain won't function. This is typically the little book that I will go towards. So yeah, so there's that. And I don't know what I want to do next, but I guess I'll just go through this way. So I have The Wind in the Willows. I have a few copies of this book. This one's like the small one. And when I was younger, my great-grandmother, yes. She gave me VHS copies of The Wind in the Willows that she got from her, what are those called? It was a subscription to a magazine. It was like an old a magazine that was like really short, like small. Reader's Digest. Okay, cool. So, they were my favorite movies, and this is the book. So when I first got my dog, she was really scared, and I, would read The Wind in the Willows to her so we could get to know each other. I also made her playlists and flower essence blends. We're best friends now. Okay. The other book that I have is Joan Didion's Slouching Towards Bethlehem. So Joan Didion's one of my favorite authors. This is one of my favorite collections. This is a newer copy to me. I shared my previous copy with someone else. And I like to have a hard copy of like books that I really love. And this is one that I really love. And I constantly reread the personal essays in the back on self-respect, on keeping a notebook. Those ones I really, really love. I guess I should also mention like ways in which I use these in a practice. Really, it's just like a way to center. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to get into it. You'll just, you know, figure it out for yourself or something. So this book is Gravity and Grace. This is my second copy by Simone Weil. And I love her so much. She's someone I know from the internet is also really into her, and she's visiting her grave and gonna bring me grave dirt. I'm so stoked. So that's a good one. And then these, I guess, are just a little note from my friend. Those are there. A little collage from a friend. I think this is a page from a friend's zine that they like ripped out and like sent to me. It's a little poem about lambs. Different friends. Sorry, I live in a busy street. I don't know if you can hear that. Dorothy Allison, 2 or 3 Things I Know for Sure. I love Dorothy Allison. I first read Dorothy Allison, like, I read, I don't want to like get too personal or anything like that, but one of her novels I read in like 2 days and like was journaling incessantly and like sobbing and calling my mom and stuff like that. But there's a passage in this one, oh my god, I wish I had already had it picked out, but there's this part in this book, oh, it's right here. So it's talking about joining a like a martial arts class. And she did it because she had heard that like women weren't allowed, and she was like, I'm going. And but it was like not a big deal at all. And then this part, was it the fourth week or the fifth that the teacher brought his wife to class, a ballet dancer with long, long legs. She easily outdistanced all of us on tight muscled calves. Nothing daunted that woman, not the run or the kicking or even lifting one of those big pink-faced boys to her shoulders and showing us how to step in a gracefully wide stance while holding him easily. I watched her in confusion, understanding completely what was intended. The example of that astonishingly perfected female body taking over the class and showing us all what a woman could do. I watched the sensei watching her and understood that not only would he not ask us to leave his class, but that the passion in his glance was something rare and unknown to me. Love that yearned as much for the spirit as for the body. Maybe this isn't the part. I mean, that's sort of like the lead up to the part. I looked at her then as he looked at her. And somehow she became a story in my head, a memory of a woman I had seen once dancing on the balls of her feet, arms moving like scythes, face stern, eyes alive, naked and powerful, deadly and utterly at peace with herself. She had a body that had never forgotten itself, and I knew at once that what I was seeing was magic. Watching, I fell in love, not with her but with the body itself, the hope of movement, the power of jumping and thrusting and being the creature that is not afraid to fall down, but somehow doesn't anyway. Okay, it's that part. The first time I read that, I cried like so hard. It's amazing. And this is also the second copy of this book that I've owned. I had my own copy. I gave the copy that I had to someone else. I gave them all of my Dorothy Allison books because someone else had given me all of them. And then Tender Buttons by Gertrude Stein. It's just like, you know, sort of nonsense in a way. And I really, some pages marked, must really appreciate that. And then I typically have some sort of Baudelaire on here. Right now it's Paris Spleen, but Flowers of Evil will do. Just some sort of poetry. And this pile. Okay, sick. Love this pile. So I guess we'll start at the bottom. Clarice Lispector, Agua Viva. I love this book. Rereading it. It's sort of in the poetry zone of things. This is also my second copy of this book because I don't know what happened to the other one. But it's beautiful. It gets pretty ridiculous. Okay, and then I have the Essene Book of Meditations and Blessings. Just seasonal focus, meditation for morning, evening, and it has days of the week and stuff like that. It's just sort of cute and nice to have. Then I guess I'll say these. So I have the Sappho Mantion and the Nietzsche Mantion pocket oracles. So these are, I have a few copies of this one as well. So I have these 3 dice. I have a lot of dice. I have some bone ones that my friend gave me, but I hid them from my dog and now I don't know where they are, if I'm being completely honest. So you roll the dice, 3, 4, 5. So you would look 3, 4, 5. Everything pointed all too plainly to an end. I didn't ask a question, but that would be quite clear. And then the Sappho one is also the same way. So you can get a lot of messages if you wanted. Like maybe you predetermined that you would get like 3 or 4. And then you can also, you know, it's like intuitive how in which way you're reading the dice as well. So those are cool. And this is my, I'm actually making my own pocket oracle like this, of this book. This is my most favorite book since I first read it when I was 20. And it used to have tons of these like little tags and stuff. This is the first copy I have. I have a digital copy of this book. I have, I think total right now, just 3 copies of this book. I have like a brand new backup, and then it's like not super easy to get your hands on sometimes. But recently I found some used copies for like $12 or something like that. So I got another one just in case. I also like to gift it a lot. So, I like to just have them around. But this is My Body and I by Renee Cravel. This is, I just don't even have words for it, really. I love this book so much. I wish I thought out more. Along obscene membrane. Yeah, so this is my most favorite book that I always have there. And I guess when I was saying like a way, things don't have to be useful, you know? Like I do use these books, especially these ones. But also these things are important to me, and so it's like a way to like have gratitude and to pay respect in a sense, or to pay attention to a certain part of myself also. You know, the person that I was when I fell in love with this book and continues to love it. And the same with like any of these. So they have a space in my, you know, sacred space. But I'm curious if you all have any books that you keep on your altar and what they are. I would love to know. I love books. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see if you guys have altar books as well. Goodbye.